Good morning, this is MEZA GRANDDUCHESS RASMASKONEN, 3706 MANOR Department 2. How are you all doing this fine day, early morning? Well, sometimes early to thee, early on to me, or whatever you want to call it. And sometimes it's not because of thee, but because you don't, as I said, you don't have to have a cause, but people need to be the right amount of unjust or unjust or evil to you for you to act good responsibly and in a good direction. But I'm going to read this quotation I first wrote. I had no intentions of doing this, but I was going to write a new one and then do a commentary and show you something about discernment and how life we go through not knowing different names and different situations are used and so forth, and we do not know who or what. But the discernment is really a gift, a real gift, and it comes to negate the stupidity of knowledgeable men who try to inflict injustice on other people. So then you become really in tune to reserve. If you can't discern, you become paranoid. And that discernment leads you into a part of wisdom that you have never ventured in before. And so I say the light so frequent, indiscreet, not indiscreet, indiscreet, comes when no one sees, but publicly. The light blind in a sex spot, and a spark illuminates a second space. Eye in eye see Ra on eye on high like days. Such craze makes no time or space. The light irradiates and make faithful mind a spirit of grace to ope in this of thee of thine. And what time? Choose a compassionate mind. So Ra in eye and eye, I can praise and shine in eye, divine, aware, murderous, CAINed humans, UNKIND. I want to illuminate to a story. I'm going to use this as an example. We never know what we have until we experience tragedy. And sometimes, as in the time of the Romans when they had their Emperor Nero, and people hid so much, the people never knew what type of ruler they really had. So they were all buffered. This was what people wanted to give. This was the society that they wanted, and so forth. There was an incident where they said either Oprah, Ray Don Chung, or one of them called Ray Don Chung or Oprah Winfrey, they called themselves a house nigger. The conversation was about a house nigger and a field nigger a couple months ago. Discernment. What about if Ray Don Chung was saying Barack Obama is a house nigger and Michelle Obama is a field nigger? Wouldn't that be some sort of mess? But she never said it publicly and outright, but in the context of Oprah Winfrey. We have this conversation. But she would be right in a sense, not in the way that we want it offensively, not in the type of leaders we want, because we want leaders single-mindedly, strong, honest, and with enough integrity to support all people, not just the agenda of some. And to me, if you look at Mr. President, part of his agenda has been supporting the agenda of the old archaic structure that never voted him back into office. Therefore, hence his failure. And maybe that's what Ray Don Chung was saying. That is all house nigger, because he grew up with privilege. He don't understand certain things and so forth, and X, Y, and Z. You don't need to live it or experience to understand it, but it takes a certain amount of understanding to bring certain amount of judgment to things. And Michelle just does what she's told. God knows what Harvard can do to some of us. They are something else. Anyway, they are something else. But it goes to show with what I went through in Korea and how they all came around and disappeared, showed the lack of intelligence, a lack of intuition, a lack of discernment, and a lack of being able to take control and to do what's correct. Easy to descend in criminalities and obscene inhumanities. That's exactly how I feel about them. So when Ray Dong Chung called him a house nigger, and I think basically she was trying to say they are just token, just a shield for somebody else's rule. And I've always said, America, we may elect a president, but the structure never really have a real leader in a time of war. They transfer power. If so, was the strength and the backbone of who they are, this man should have that cabinet to the second term, to the end of his term. But Miss Hillary Clinton, we know her for her lack of integrity and her disingenuity. She may be a feminist, darling, but she is a murderer. And I don't think we want another token in America. We don't want another token person. We don't want another Hillary Clinton. We don't want any of them. Well, I'm telling you, this is what you shouldn't want. Clear your slate. Discern now. Become the people, because they don't understand even what your liberties and freedom are. They are protectionism of their own guilt and their own selfish inhumanities. If such was not the case, then Ukraine would not have failed, because we know Ukraine was a door, was a Western door, was the American and British door into Russia. But they took the money and fled. There is no structure in Ukraine. And so how does that reflect on us? We cause confusion everywhere else and try to protect it from our own backyard, but the confusion then lies within us. And to rid ourselves of it, before we elect another leader like Hillary and the Obamas, let's have a person who truly understands liberty. Let's not be afraid of somebody who has strong convictions, because obviously their religion didn't save them. It didn't make them compassionate. I have to wonder he's not a Muslim, because they are so anti. Most Muslims are so anti-Obama. It is not strange. Just take a taxi and ask any taxi cab drivers. Most of the Africans want yes, because of the African connection. And that is it. But the rest of Muslim world, they're not so. The status quo seems appearance and acceptance, but not so. And a Christian is not a Christian. He's some sort of fanatical. But nobody knows where to place. But it kind of ties into their old aura. And neither do I have time to waste on them. But I'm saying discernment, people. It's hard for us to be wise when they inflicted so many distractions on us. But we have lost our liberty and freedoms and our ability to defend them. Me, prime example. I will always say that I disgust the army for what it did to me. I disgust it because of the innocent life it costs, and they are not lives of the enemy. I know that evil. I disgust Walter Reed and most of the people there. I don't go there if I don't have to. And so therefore, when I said, I am the flag because I represented it. I fought hard for what I believed in, and I don't know what they were doing. Discernment. Choose wisely. If it's a spirit, let it guide you humanely. This is MEZA Grand Duchess RASMASKONEN, 3706 Manor Road, Apartment 2. Have a good Sunday. Discernment, wisdom, and knowledge. No wonder the pastor had to ask to pray for his wisdom. Missing